Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to all. All praises to the Most High. When praises go up, blessings pour down. Blessings come down. Blessings is simply all around. You know, the goodness about being a part of God, you know, the goodness about being redeemed, the goodness about walking within truth, the goodness about being a part of God's heritage is that the Lord warns you ahead of time of all things that are set to come in place, for all things that will take place prior before happening. God warned you ahead of time, seasons that are to come and seasons that you are going to be walking into. You know, God warns you of the good. You know, God warns you of tests and trials. You know, God warns you about persecutions that will arise and that will take place when you are walking within truth, when you are standing within truth, when you are walking and standing within your freedom. You know, God warns you of persecutions that will arise when you are no longer caught in the contamination within this programmed generation of blindness, leading and guiding blind, you know, blind, leading and guiding the blind. God warns you of all things that are to come for you who are now free from the lies of this generation. You who are free now from being raised upon lies and taught lies. And you know, God warns those who are now walking within light, who were once in darkness. God warns you, you know, those who are now in fact walking in light. God warns you ahead of time of for all the things that are to come for you, in fact, you know, standing within your truth, you know, walking within your freedom, which all goes back to receiving that truth, where truth can only come from God. You know, those who have been brought up in just a generation of lies that have been, you know, just contaminated and circulated within the prince of the power of this air, you know, that have reached so many. Continue to stand within your truth, where truth can only come from God. Continue to stand within the light. Continue to stand within chains not chains broken from your feet. Continue to stand within a sound mind. You now have the truth. You now continue to grow within your truth. Continue to seek the truth that can only come from God. Continue to teach truth, you know, which is only from the word, which can only come from the word and the book of life. You know, continue to stand with God, because God is before you at all times. Persecutions come and are set in place when you, in fact, are choosing righteousness, God righteousness over unrighteousness. Persecutions are set in place when the enemy no longer can control you with lies, when the enemy no longer can have you caught within the matrix of this generation. Persecutions come in place when the enemy don't want you breaking a generational curse, but the devil is a lie in the name of Jesus. So again, the goodness about walking with God is that, you know, the Lord warns you ahead of time of all the things that are to come, all the things that are to come. And those who are, again, walking within truth and who now have awakened to truth, who have now, awakened to truth, who now thirst and hunger for the truth that only can come from God. Continue seeking that truth. Continue standing in your victory, which is God. Continue standing in your freedom, and continue just elevating and growing, and not being shook, by the prince of the power of this air that still have people in bondage of chains, that still have people programmed within their mind, that still have people blinded from their eyes and deaf from their ears. Continue to just, again, walk within receiving the truth that can only come from God. And the cold thing about this generation is that this generation have been brought up and continue to be brought up based upon receiving what sounds good to their ear, and they're not brought up, or centered around receiving the truth. What your ears need to hear is the truth. What your soul needs to receive is the truth, and the truth shall make you free. The truth shall loosen those chains. The truth shall free your mind from this jail system that this generation is so locked in. The truth will have you unprogrammed to the lies and the error that has been hanging on from traditions to traditions, generations to down to generations. God's truth will set you free. God's truth will make you free. So again, to those who are walking within truth, who are standing within